everyone, you are most welcome to this new episode of this Rising Beings. Today we have an interesting guest who's a NLP practitioner and will be covering the topic regarding NLP. How can you use the NLP in your business to market yourself to get the sales done, right? So, dear guest, you are most welcome.
Hi, good morning. So it's morning in the Philippines. I am joining you live here from Manila, Philippines. So, but if you're watching this anywhere in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Right. That sounds perfect. So, the audience is a little of excited to know a little of your intro.
Yes. Okay. So let's make it a bit more interactive. And if you're watching this or if you're listening to this, join in on the conversation. Like you, for example, if I ask you right now, if you can describe to me a beach, how will you describe it? What will you say? What words will you say?
Okay, am I supposed to answer it over here?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So for
So,
you who are listening or watching, answer also, like, just top of your head, a beach.
okay, so you're talking about beach. How do I describe it?
Yes.
Okay, so the beach is kind of a playful area where we see where we are seeing the good view of water
Mm-hmm.
and the sky, and
Mm-hmm.
also the sun is there. Right?
Mm-hmm.
People do take the sun bath over there. That's how I would
Okay.
describe it.
Yeah, so that's how you describe it. You say it's a playful area. The sun is there. There's the water. And it has a good view. If I ask the same question to somebody from, example, Scotland, they will probably say the beach is cold and it's not, here in the Philippines, we have white sand beaches. So if I were to describe it, I would say white sand, palm trees, it's hot, but there it's probably cold and it's rocky and the waves are stronger and bigger and higher. That is an example of neuro linguistic programming. So let's break it down. Neuro means the brain. Linguistic are the labels that we put on our thoughts. So the neuro part are the thoughts. The label or the linguistic are the words that we use to describe our thoughts. And our thoughts are composed of visual, auditory, kinesthetic, or movement or feelings, olfactory, what we smell, gustatory, what we taste. Okay? So even something as simple as the beach, our thoughts, we have different labels. We have different linguistic for it. And that depends on our P, the P part, which is programming. Because we're programmed to see the beach as that because that's how I've always seen it. When we went to the US and I saw, their beaches for the first time, I was like, this is rocky. This isn't a beach for me. And the waves are higher and it's cold. You know what I mean? And so that's because that's how they're programmed. So, which means if that's how you're programmed, you can reprogram it according to new experiences. So, as a business owner, we have programs. There are ways on how we think our customers feel about us, their programs about our products or about our services. Once you know how you yourself as an entrepreneur is programmed and how your customers, buyers, clients are programmed, then you can reprogram it according to the result that you want.
Right.
Does that make sense? Is it clear?
It does. It does make a lot of sense as you have break it down like that. It's like, okay, so now we have the understanding about the neuro linguistic and the programming that is there. So the one thing that I understood over here is like it all depends on your belief system, what you believe and you will believe what you have experienced, right? And if you have not
Yes.
experienced it, so you will believe what you have seen, and you will what you will assume.
Correct. Correct.
Right.
So
So
say for example, if you're talking about business owners, because I believe your the audience that we're talking to are business owners,
right.
entrepreneurs. You're a business owner, and I have a lot of clients in the real estate industry because I was in the corporate world for a long time, for 20 plus years. 7 of that is with real estate, and one of my clients said, I'm shy, I'm embarrassed to tell my friends that I'm now in the real estate industry, coming from being a cabin crew for a long time, because one person told her, please don't sell to me, please don't sell to me, don't even don't even come close, because I know that you're going to sell to me as a real estate. So that was one. So because of that one belief, that one person who said that that person did not want her to come near that person, she's like, okay, I'm not going to sell to family, I'm not going to sell to friends because it's embarrassing. I don't want to alienate them. That becomes her programming because of the linguistic that person said. But then I asked her, the evidence is it's just one person. How many friends do you have on Facebook? Are you telling me that all of your 1,000 friends think that way? That's just one person. And she said, you know what? You're actually right. I have led myself to believe what one person said, when in fact, and this is what I told her, what if you are actually removing, robbing other people of the chance to avail of your service or product just because you believed in that programming? And then once we settled that challenged and settled that limiting belief, she was able to sell like consistently, even to family, which is the hardest person to sell to is family. And that, as an entrepreneur, that's something that you have to acknowledge. You have patterns, you have programs that you need to acknowledge and challenge, so that you can move forward in, sustaining or even scaling your business.
All right. Here I got a question over here. As you mentioned that the people have the same patterns and they are following. Let's say if there is a manager of mine, right, and there's a mentor of mine. So can the pattern be changed of learning from the same mentor?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. So you're learning from, so that you have a different pattern. You have to look at things from another person's perspective. There's a thing called, so in NLP, there's also a thing called modeling. NLP is also a study of excellence. So what we do is we model successful people,
Right.
but the challenge or the risk with that is you also model their mistakes. You also model if you have a mentor, you also kind of follow that mentor. So it's, I believe, ideal to have several perspectives, several angles, so that you can reframe according to what works for you, what is
Right.
beneficial for you.
Right. So no, my point over here, you mentioned correctly over here, but the point was like this. Let's say if I consider you for a second, let's say you are a mentor of mine, and I'm learning from you. Right? But the thing is this, I'm not getting that particular result that I expect to get it from you. So now later on you come up with something and you are saying that now I have designed it differently for you. So do you think that I'll have the same pattern to learn from that person, or is there something that I could do so that the that belief system, that pattern is changed, that perspective is changed towards that mentor?
So you're saying, let me clarify. So you're saying that you're not getting the results that you want from a mentor that you have. And since you're not getting the results that you want from that mentor, you are thinking that maybe there is something wrong with what that mentor is teaching you.
Right.
And then the question is, how do you break away from that? Is that correct?
Right.
Well, not everything that a mentor tells you is actually good for you. Why do I say that? In my case, I'll just give an example. I don't immediately say, I'm a sales and marketing coach. I don't immediately say, do TikTok or write a blog or go on podcasts immediately. That works for me, but I will not tell you to do that immediately. Why? Because you have a different program. You also have different strengths. You also have different limiting beliefs. So the very first step in my coaching program is what I call values elicitation. I have to find out your values first before I can tell you something that you can model. Because you cannot model what I tell you exactly, because you are not me. So immediately that's a breaking the pattern, because I will say, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm going to synthesize what your strengths are, what your values are, so that you are actually the one creating your strategy and not me. So I listen first as a coach. So if you are the coachee or the mentee, I suggest you have that conversation with the coach. Like, if are you sure that this is for me? Or are you telling me this because this is what worked for you? There has to be that. I truly believe it has to be, some from your strength, from your experiences, from your own programming.
All right. So there was one more question that I brought up over here, from your conversation only. That was like, let's say you mentioned about your mentee who was trying to sell something, and that real estate client says that you're trying to sell me, but you helped her to overcome that challenge, and now she was able to do more sales even in her family as well, right?
Yes.
The similar issue is there with the today's entrepreneur. While they are reaching out to the clients, what exactly happens? That some of them say no, right?
Hmm?
So now, after a certain period of time, people stop reaching out to the new prospects. So, how do people overcome that? And is there any logic behind that, or like what one can?
So it becomes a pattern of rejection. I think I'm gonna paraphrase this, but something like Einstein said, if you keep on doing something and expecting if you keep on doing something and expecting a different result, then that's insanity. Because if you keep on saying, presenting something and people are like rejecting you or not accepting or not buying from you, that's not just one person. That's already a pattern. So once it becomes a pattern, then you have to ask yourself, am I the problem? Is my product the problem? Because you now have evidence aside from one person of, there's no market match. There's no product to market match. Or you're not maybe presenting it properly, or maybe you need to study the art of persuasion some more. Maybe you need to use different words. Maybe you need to use a different visual. Break the pattern, break the way you tell things. If you've been presenting in a webinar format, why not have a networking event? Break that pattern. I That's one of the things that I teach. It's called interrupting patterns in NLP. Even with social media, you keep on posting single images. Example, so glasses, you keep on posting product images of glasses at the beach, at the school, etc., but it's all products. But and then you realize nobody's buying from me. Break the pattern. Introduce a video of your glasses in context. And I always also say to use emotions when you sell. So you break the pattern by doing a different medium, like a different style, so video. Also use emotions. So emotion, like, pride. So put the sunglasses in context. The person is wearing it with, and then like the crowd, for example, um, moves away and everybody's looking at you because you're wearing the glasses. So you're evoking pride, or you are evoking envy, instead of just showing your product as a single image. So that's breaking a pattern.
Right. That sounds really super interesting. That sounds really super interesting, and I can say that this conversation has been super amazing. The audience has got some really super cool insights over here that can help them to overcome the patterns that they already have. And do you suggest any practice to overcome the patterns that people have that's not working for them and they want to adapt a new pattern?
Yeah. So this is another example. A pattern. Many people, actually, the number one fear, aside from death, is go speak in public, showing yourself online. That's a pattern that many people have. They don't want to show themselves online because they're scared or embarrassed, etc. I ask you one question. If you have a cure for cancer, if you have in your head an invention that can cure cancer, are you going to keep it to yourself, or are you going to share it to the world? Because this is a reframe. This is another NLP concept. You reframe it. You think about it a different way. Yes, you are embarrassed. Yes, you're not sure. Yes, you stammer, or you don't really speak English that well, for example. But have you ever thought about what your words, what your product, what your service can do to help other people? You're in business. And why are you in business? You're in business because you want to help people, right? I mean, at least that's why I'm in business. And you're in business because you want to help other people. If you're not sharing that, then you're not doing your business well. And once you think about other people other than yourself, then that's like a pattern break. Interrupting pattern, because it stops being about you. It starts becoming about other people.
All right, right. Thank you for clarifying this particular topic over here, right? So, is there any story that you would like to share about your mentee or somebody who have been into, who have been through the challenges and NLP helped them?
Oh, a lot. Yeah. So that one person who was able to sell to her family, I trained. So I started NLP and marketing, combining it. I trademarked it. I called it brain science selling in 2020, and I think that was early this year. A client of mine, who's also a friend, sent me a message out of the blue. She said, I know it's been a while. I just want to share with you the results of our training in 2020. So this is in 2020. It's been 3 years since I trained them. That was in June. And she said, the NLP and copywriting training that you gave us is still in use until now, and it accounts for 30% sales. And since then, that 30% has already reached a billion in sales, a billion pesos in sales, a billion. I said, you know what? I can actually call myself a billion peso sales coach because that's how much they sell. I have made so many people rich because real estate is a big business in the Philippines. and they get a lot of commission. So NLP and copywriting for that team. I have another one. I also apply NLP on Facebook targeting, on Facebook ads. Like I said, mentors, gurus, they will teach you about how to do Facebook ads. Just like, many people, many gurus can. They will tell you targeting, interest, etc. But they don't normally tell you how it relates to brain science. Like what are neurotransmitters like dopamine and oxytocin has to do with Facebook targeting. And that's part of what I teach. And this team, 7 days, so again, another real estate person, 7 days after implementing a video, already sold 1 unit. So without what do you call, so video, sorry, for the Facebook ads, let me remember. So it's after 4 days of running the ad, just 4 days of running the ad, she was able to close 2 units. This is millions and millions of pesos in, so just 4 days. I helped run an ad for a client, like a lead generation ad for the same NLP and Facebook targeting for only, let me compute. So let me compute the budget in dollars. So just so, we know what, so 5 divided by, for $92. $92. I think we ran it for like 2 or 3 weeks. 180 leads for $92. That's a lot of leads, 180. And that's how effective it is.
Right.
That's how effective using neuro-linguistic programming for your sales and marketing. And that's why also here with my new business, because I now invested in an AI company, I am expanding the reach and the effect of neuro-linguistic programming in AI. Because can you imagine if it works for Facebook, if it works for content, if it works for copywriting, how much more exposure, how many more audiences it can reach and help with the use of AI.
That's super interesting, right? And I'm glad to hear that now you have made a lot of people rich just by the NLP. So it is really huge thing to understand. The one who does makes makes fortune, right? That's interesting. Thank you so much to the audience who has been listening to us over here. And if you have liked this particular session, do like and subscribe to the channel and share this video to your loved ones that they can also have the understanding about the NLP and sales and marketing. And thank you so much to the guest as well who has been over here sharing a lot of golden nuggets with the audience. Right? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Right, where people can find you.
Okay, so I would like for you to experience what I was talking about, the AI experience. So my website, www.valeriepfischer.net. I have an AI assistant. Her name is Ivy. AIV. So her name is Ivy. I would like for you to experience the AI concept as part of my website. So you can experience NLP, marketing, sales, and AI all in the same breath. So www.valeriepfischer.net. You can also follow or connect with me on LinkedIn, Valerie Fischer. So those are my two connections. But ideally, I would like for you to really experience, play around with my AI, ask her to do a Facebook ad for you, all of those things.
Perfect. So that sounds interesting. People go and check that out. I strongly believe people would be checking that out because the session was just interesting. This episode was super awesome. Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.